Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching BookedonCharity, and welcome to my mid-year freak out video. I did one like this last year and I thought it would be a good idea to do it again, and I've been seeing a couple of my favorite YouTubers, booktubers doing this tags, so I'm here to do mine. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the question. The first question is the best book I've read this year. That would be Wayward by Amelia Hart. This is following 3 generations of women who have at some point in their lives experienced traumatic and very painful experiences brought on by men. But what I loved about this is the writing style. First of all, it's magical realism. This is an arc so it's not the normal cover that you guys would know. I'm trying to see if they have, so the actual cover in the store looks more like this, but I actually love this very bright pink. I absolutely love this one. It was a 5-star read for me. It was my favorite read of the year for the longest time. I have since added another one to the list, but I absolutely love this one. The writing style was so good. I loved listening to it. I loved reading it. I've got a bunch of tabs, obviously, because it was so freaking good, and I would really highly recommend it to anybody. Honestly, I think it's a great story. It's great to see the different personalities of the women, the way that they relate to each other, the way that they are helpful to each other throughout generations. It was beautiful. It was sad, but it was beautiful. The next question is the best sequel that I've read, which counts to one of my best reads for 2023, and that would be Golden Sun by Piers Brown. I love this series so much. I feel like in every video I'm gonna be saying this until you guys understand how great, how amazing Red Rising series is. This is book 2 of the Red Rising saga by Piers Brown. Absolutely love it. I love the writing style, I love the plot, I love the political intrigue, I love the action scenes, I love the cliffhanger. Gave me stress but it was so good. The writing style is so good. The audiobook is so good. The audiobook is on SCRIBD, the whole series is there, well, up until whatever is out, I guess. So yeah, absolutely loved Golden Sun by Piers Brown. It's those kind of books that it's literally unput downable, because every single moment you thought you were taking a breath and okay, I'm calm, and then you're not, because something happens literally on the next page. So I think the other thing that I really love about it is that you cannot really predict the direction in which the author will take the story. It's always things you never expect it to happen, and there's so many moments of different plots in here. There's so many moments of action. There's so many moments of the political intrigue is so freaking good. Oh my gosh, I love this book. Highly recommend. The next question is new releases that I am yet to read. So I've got a long list for that, but I'm going to show you a couple of them. So the first one is A Day of Full Night by Samantha Shannon. I read and finished The Priory of the Orange Tree by the same author, and I give it a 4.5 star rating. I think it was pretty good, but it was really slow paced. The action really came out in the end. I'm not sure what to expect with this one. It is quite thick, so I don't know when I'm gonna get the chance to actually sit down and read it, but I'm looking forward to getting into the story. It's weird to say continue with the story because it's a prequel sequel, because it's the events are happening I don't know, hundreds of years before the events of the Priory of the Orange Tree. So looking forward to this one. And then I've got Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This was on one of my anticipated releases, right? But I've got like 5 books that I need to read before I can get to this one, because I've got the Dark Artifices trilogy that I want to read before getting into the Last Hour series, and I'm doing that to kind of like give myself a background on the Shadowhunters world, because I've never read Mortal Instruments and all the other series that Cassandra Clare has written, and I don't think I want to go that route. So I heard through like watching reviews and stuff like that that the Dark Artifices series is the best one to read before you get into the Last Hour series. I could just go straight into it, but I mean, I bought the other 3 books, so I want to read them, and I feel like I want to be more prepared going into the Last Hour series because I've heard great things about it, than just jumping straight into it. And then I've got Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. This is a Arthurian retelling following a bunch of thieves, and there's like a curse that needs to be broken. Don't know that much about it, don't want to know that much about it, because it's one of the books that I'm planning on picking up really soon. I'm actually thinking of doing an new releases vlog, reading a couple of these books and seeing what my thoughts are about them. So I don't want to get too deep into the synopsis of the books. And then I've got Mame by Jessica George. This is a literary fiction following a young woman who is in a situation where she needs to take care of her sick father while her mom is like living in another country, and family dynamics and all that. So I've heard really good things from my friends who do read a lot of literary fiction. So it's not a big genre of mine, but I am looking forward to reading Mame soon as well. The next one is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I read the synopsis of this earlier today, and it talked a little bit about witches, and I'm just like, I'm for it. I don't even want to know anything else about it, because again, it's one of those that I want to pick up really, really soon. Then I've got Clytemnestra, which is a Greek mythology inspired story. I'm expecting like women empowerment in here. I'm not sure what else to expect from this, but I'm looking forward to picking this one up. And then the final one on this list, I've got The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi. This was also one of my anticipated releases for earlier this year. This was released in March, and I haven't had the chance to pick it up, which then would make sense for me to have this new releases vlog, because it was literally forced me to read these new books, because I've kind of like been picking books at random, and a lot of them are books that I've had on my TBR for quite a while. So I want to kind of like start prioritizing new releases as well. And yeah, this is the final one. The next question is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that will be Lightbringer by Pierce Brown, which is book 6 in the Red Rising series saga. As I was like checking through the list, I saw that there's already a book 7 in the works that's coming out in 2024 called The Red God, and I'm just like, I'm already freaking out for it, and it's not even out yet. I don't even know when in 2024 it's coming out, and I don't care, because I'm so in love with the series right now, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what more Pierce Brown can give us. So I'm really excited for that one. There's a bunch of other ones, but that's like my main book that I'm anticipating in the second half of the year. My biggest disappointment of the year was The It Girl by Ruth, where I was kind of bored. I was kind of bored reading the book. I listened to it on audiobook, and I don't know, it felt too long. It felt like we circled around a lot. Even when they exposed who the killer was, I wasn't very excited about it. Like I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in the story. It wasn't a great one. And then the biggest surprise of the year was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and I did not expect. It's a romance, first of all. It's contemporary romance, but it is an adult romance in the sense that the characters are above 30 years old. It is a second chance romance. I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 5-star rating. I absolutely loved the way that the main characters related to each other, the way they spoke about each other. Like, it was just so endearing and so sweet and just so swoon worthy. I absolutely love it. I loved the audiobook. I loved the writing. I loved the chemistry. I loved I loved, like, it wasn't smut heavy, and I loved that about it. You could feel the tension sometimes, but I loved it. I feel like it was mostly relatable as well, unlike a lot of the romance books that I've come across and absolutely hated. It was very relatable. It was very real. The characters felt real. They felt believable. I loved the writing of Kennedy Ryan. I loved the voices that, like, the POVs we got, because we are hearing both POVs from the male and the female main characters. It was amazing, and the social commentary that she was like getting into as well, like this heavier topics that are dealt with in the book, but I feel like she did it with such care, and I absolutely appreciated it and I loved it. And yeah, that was my definite biggest surprise of the year so far. And then I got a new favorite author. That will be Amelia Hart and Piers Brown, because so far they've like delivered the best for me in this year. And Amelia Hart is a standalone novel, while Piers Brown, obviously, it's a saga, it's a series, so there's a lot more books, and I'm falling more and more in love with this author. So definite definite new favorite authors. New fictional crush, I don't really have one. I don't really crush on characters in books, but if I had to, it would have to be Josiah from Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. That would be my pick, but I was not like crushing. So the next question is new favorite character, and I think that would have to be Anya from Spy Family. I absolutely love Anya. She's so cute, she's so hilarious, she's so delusional, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's just the funniest. I absolutely love her. Like, I love her character. I love the graphics that are in here that represent her. Like, I love her personality. Like, she's just, yeah, I love. She's definitely one of my favorite characters. If you haven't read Spy Family, first of all, it is by Tatsuya Endo, and it is following Twilight, who's this dude over here, and he is on a mission to basically get close to this guy who's kind of like a politician, and he's really hard to get close to. One of the ways that you can get close to him is to have your kid be in the same school that he goes to, because those are the only kind of like social events that he attends. However, Twilight doesn't have a family, so now he has to go get a made up family essentially to try and infiltrate the school. And the first thing he does is go to an orphanage and pick up this kid. Her name is Anya, to adopt her essentially and pretend like he's her dad. But what he doesn't know is that Anya is actually a telepath and he's a spy, obviously. So there's a lot of things that he cannot say to her, but he's thinking a lot of these things in his head. And because she's a telepath, she can hear his thoughts, and sometimes it freaks her out, sometimes it gets her excited because she really loves spy movies as well. And then the next mission will be like to try and get a wife, because the school is very big on having like a family structure. And the wife that he manages to find to convince, like, let's try and be a family, happens to be an assassin. So you've got a spy, an assassin, and a telepath trying to become a family, and it's such a good story. It is absolutely hilarious. I love it so much. I cannot wait to collect the rest of it so I can put it up on my shelf and read it and enjoy it. I've been watching the anime as well, which is absolutely hilarious. It's so good. The next question is a book that made you cry. You guys, I don't read sad books, so it's kind of hard for me to find a book that makes me cry. But one that I found that has made me cry this year, and it's not even a book that I'm done reading, is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zavin. And this is following two people who go in and out of a relationship with each other, whether I think at some point they probably get together as a couple, but it's mostly a friendship relationship, and they keep being friends and falling out, and then like that for decades. But another thing that they have in common is that they love games, and one of the characters is actually a game developer. I don't remember what the other ones, the male character's profession is, but at some point they come together to create a game, and yeah, we follow their story. But it is written so well. It is sad at times, it's emotional. Like, I'm so afraid to pick this one up again because, like I said, this is the one book that made me cry, but it is absolutely, it's amazing. It's amazing. The one section that I read, part one, was so good that I feel like this makes sense why it was on basically everybody's favorite book of 2022. So yeah, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow absolutely made me cry, would probably make you cry as well. A book that made you happy would be the Wash Day Diary. This is a graphic novel, and it encapsulates women friendships. It's a very short book. So obviously, like, the book kind of like takes place in about a day or two, where they're going through wash day procedures. You know, if you have like natural hair and it takes like the whole day to wash your hair, and we get to see them in the different hairstyles, number one, the different textures, how each of them take care of their hair, but it's more about their friendships and their dynamics. And there's also commentary around depression, and we get to see how, you know, they can be there for each other during those times. So it's such a nice book. Like, when I read it, I wish that there was a part two, or like a next one, or volume two, whatever, because it was so good and I just wanted more of it. But it made me feel happy paging through, looking at the graphics. I was smiling, like, it was so good. Absolutely loved it. And then the next question is the most beautiful book you have bought so far. The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I love this cover. It is a hardback. The naked cover is like simple green, but I mean, the cover, the actual jacket, makes up for the plain green. I love the greenery. I love the pink. I love the color scheme. I love the woman here in the middle. Like, it's so beautiful to me. And yeah, definitely the most beautiful book that I have acquired this year. The next question is books that you still need to read for the rest of the year. Everything. But I mean, the books that I shared as the new releases that I want to read, those are definitely on my list. There's a lot more. Like, I've filmed fantasy books that I wanted to read. I think fantasy sci-fi books I wanted to read for 2023. I filmed my African literature books that I want to read in 2023. So those would be the books that I would try and prioritize, because I haven't really been doing that so well. So yeah, it's a long list. So I'll share the videos down below where I do share those lists, and then you can kind of get an idea of what's going on, because it's not going good. It's definitely not going good. And then the final question is my favorite book to movie or TV adaptation. That definitely has to be Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I recently did a read along for this book in June, and I watched the series on Disney Plus, and then I read the book. Absolutely love this book. I gave it a 5-star rating. I really enjoyed the series as well. I gave it a 4-star, and we got left on such a cliffhanger that I really hope they make season 2, because I really need to see what's gonna happen, and I can't wait to compare it to what happened in the book. There are a few differences that I am interested to see the direction in which the production company and the editors and the creators would take the story. So yeah, definitely Kindred, definitely worth the read. I absolutely love this, and the show I think is definitely worth a watch. So this is my final book. And then getting to a little bit of stats for the year. So I am filming this in July. However, up until the end of June, I have read 34 books. Now, if you've been on my channel at least since the beginning of the year, you will know that my goal is to read 100 books. So I'm like behind, like really, really behind. But I gave myself that goal because I got to like 76, 78 books last year, and a lot of it was because I read graphic novels through my apps on my phone or tablet, and I also listen to a lot of audiobooks. So in terms of audiobooks, I'm doing really well, and according to my 2023 hours goal, my goal is to read 250 hours worth of audiobooks, and so far I've done 157 hours and I'm 28 hours ahead, so I'm doing good in that regard. My pages goal is not looking so good because I haven't been picking up a lot of physical books, so I'm 21% into it. It is 30,000 pages. I think maybe I was reaching a little bit because I didn't really know where to place myself, but you guys probably would have seen that I've got a couple of chunkers in here, so maybe I might be able to pick that up because I've only read 6,273 pages up until now, and I've got 9,200 pages to catch up on. I mean, I'm like, there's a lot of books. And then in terms of just the number of books, like I said, right now I have read 36, but up until end of June I had gotten to 34 books. I am 16 books behind right now, but it's okay because I think I am slowly getting back into reading the ebooks as well. I've got a few ebooks going right now. I am continuing with Saga, so I'm currently on volume 8. I also started Paper Girls by the same author, and then I am exploring other graphic novels as well, and I need to get back to my to Shonen Jump, where I read manga and probably even complete Spy Family because it is available on Shonen Jump. So yeah, I still have a lot of work to do. The year didn't start out so great. It was a little bit slow. The best month I've had of reading so far has been June, because I think I completed about, I'll tell you now, I think 11. Oh, I completed 10 books in June. So June was a very, very good reading month. And it's the first one where I've reached the reading goal for the month, because I should essentially be reading like about averaging on 8 books a month. So yeah, but I think I have a chance to turn it around, and I guess we'll see maybe by September or so if I am kind of like getting to my goal or not. If I don't, it's okay, because I would still have read a whole bunch of books. So yeah, let me know down below if you are tracking your reading, doing any kind of mid-year check in with yourself in terms of your reading. Are you relooking what you're reading? I think for the most part this year has been good in terms of the quality of books I've been reading. Quantity, obviously we still need to catch up, but I think in terms of quality I'm doing really well, and I hope I can continue on that trajectory. If you made it this far in this video, leave me a bright pink flowered emoji to represent the daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.